You are last carrier. You will always be the last in this class.
Everyone in Westfield Junior Secondary School knew Tunde's name, not for good reasons. He fought in corridors, he skipped mathematics on Tuesdays, he failed every exam and collected his result sheet the way a man collects bad news, quietly, without surprise. Teachers had written him off before the second term even began. Some didn't bother calling his name during lessons anymore. What was the point? But Teacher Grace watched him differently. Where others saw a troublemaker, she saw a boy carrying something too heavy for his age. One afternoon, she followed him after school. What she found broke something inside her. Tunde was not lazy. Tunde was hungry. His father had walked out on the family 2 years ago without a word or a kobo left behind. His mother cleaned offices from 5 in the morning until night swallowed the sky. And even then, what she brought home was barely enough. So Tunde carried the rest. Every morning before school, he fetched water from the community tap 4 streets away, filling every drum and bucket in the house so his mother wouldn't have to do it after her long shifts. On weekends, he hawked pure water along the expressway, walking kilometers under a punishing sun with a cooler on his head, counting coins in his palm at the end of the day to make sure there was something for the pot, even when that something meant he would not eat. When his younger sister fell sick and the medication cost more than they had, Tunde quietly dropped out of the lesson his mother had scraped money together to pay for, collected a refund, and handed every note to his mother without ever telling her why the lesson teacher stopped expecting him. 3 people lived in that house. On most evenings, only 2 of them ate. Tunde was always the one who said he wasn't hungry. In school, the cruelty was routine. When results were read aloud each term, it was tradition, almost sport. The teacher would begin from first position, and the class would cheer each name like a celebration. Second, third. The excitement thinned as the numbers climbed. By the time they reached the bottom, the mood had shifted into something uglier. And in last position, Tunde Adeyemi. Fingers would point. Laughter would ripple. Some teachers smiled. One even shook his head slowly as though deeply unsurprised. Tunde always stood, head down, shoulders still. He had learned not to let his face say anything. Only Teacher Grace never laughed. She would look at him from across the room, and her eyes said something different, something he didn't yet have words for. It started with a small food flask. One morning, Grace placed it on his desk before class began. "Eat before lessons," she said simply, and walked away. He stared at it for a long time. The next day, there was another one, and the day after that. She never made a ceremony of it. She never announced it or waited for gratitude. She simply made sure that when Tunde sat down to learn, his stomach was not fighting him. But the food was only part of it. During break time, when other students bought snacks and gathered in loud clusters outside the class, Grace would find Tunde and sit with him under the Block B corridor. She taught him there, quietly, patiently, the way she had clearly been waiting to teach him all along. "You are not slow," she told him one afternoon, working through a fraction problem with him for the 3rd time. "You just have too much noise in your head. We'll push the noise back." She spoke to him like he was worth the effort, like the answer was in him somewhere, and she was simply helping him find it. No teacher had ever done that. No adult outside his mother had ever looked at him and seen something worth rescuing. He started listening. At home, after the water was fetched and his sister was asleep and his mother's food was kept warm on the stove, Tunde would bring out his textbook under the single bulb in the parlor and study. It was not easy. His eyes burned, his body ached from the day. Some nights the exhaustion sat on his chest like something physical. But he thought about Grace's voice, about the food flask, about the look on her face when she explained something and he finally understood it. He pushed through. He made sure his chores were done early, that his sister was cared for, that the house was in order, all so he could protect those quiet night hours with his books. It was a difficult balance, walking the edge between his family's needs and his own becoming. Most nights, he barely slept, but he did not stop. As the end-of-year examination approached, the mockery sharpened. "Tunde, you better prepare to carry last again, oh," a classmate announced loud enough for the row behind to hear. The row laughed. In the staff room, one teacher addressing a sluggish student said with theatrical weariness, "Do you want to end up like some people in this school? Study or become an example." The students knew who the example was. They always did. Tunde heard it all. He said nothing. But something had shifted in him, something quiet and stubborn. The discouragement had stopped landing the way it once did. Instead, it bounced off and became fuel. Every laugh pushed him back to his books. Every pointed finger made him want to write one more page of notes before he slept. On the morning of the examination, Tunde walked in without looking at anyone. He sat down, straightened his paper, and focused. He wrote what he had studied. He wrote everything Grace had taught him under the corridor during break time. He wrote with the kind of concentration that comes from having sacrificed something real for it. When results were ready, the atmosphere in the classroom was familiar. The teacher stood at the front, result sheets in hand. First, the names of those who had failed. Tradition demanded the shame be public, a supposed motivation dressed as humiliation. Students shifted in their seats, waiting. Tunde's name was not called. A few heads turned. Someone whispered. The teacher moved on to positions. In third position, Tunde Adeyemi. The room went silent, in the particular way rooms go silent when they have been proven wrong. Then it broke, not into the usual laughter, but into something confused and reluctant, the sound of people recalibrating. Students who pointed fingers now stared with open mouths. Teachers who used his name as a cautionary tale sat straighter in their chairs. Grace did not make a noise. She pressed her lips together, looked at him from across the room, and her eyes were full, the kind that needs no words. Tunde lifted his head. For the first time in that classroom, he did not look down. He was still the boy who fetched water before sunrise, still the one who went without so his sister could eat, still the son of a woman who worked herself to exhaustion every day. None of that had changed, but he was also now the boy in third position, the boy a teacher had believed in when the rest of the world had not bothered. Sometimes that is all it takes. Not a miracle, not a perfect situation, not the removal of hardship. Just one person who refuses to believe the story everyone else has written about you. Teacher Grace was that person for Tunde. And Tunde, hungry, tired, mocked, unseen Tunde, had done the rest.